My name is Leroy Moyo from BirdLife Zimbabwe, an organization that is focused on the conservation of birds and biodiversity. So we're here in Mutare for our first meeting with law enforcement officers. We're looking at how vultures can or are protected by the Zimbabwean law and some other laws in general. So we had participants from NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority, we have participants from Zimpax, Traditional Practitioners Association, that is the TMPC, we had journalists, we had a plethora of participants. We had come in to learn more about birds and biodiversity, especially vultures, how they are being protected, or they need to be protected by vultures. So the reason why we choose law enforcement officers is what we have studied, and realized is that there isn't much care or there isn't much knowledge in terms of our law enforcement officers knowing about birds, and especially birds. They might know about rhinos, they might know about elephants, they might know about pangolins, but there isn't much which has been done towards birds. So that was our entry point to say that what is it that is written on the law, and how can you help in the use of the laws to amplify and to make convictions in terms of birds cases in Zimbabwe. Yes. One other thing that we found in terms of the deterrent measures, they are not deterrent enough. I'll speak on behalf of Bela and what we've seen. They are not deterrent enough. For example, a recent case that happened in Rari where criminals were found with vulture is they were just given, I think, $180 is the fine. But what really applies, what needs to be on the law is that you should get more sentencing in terms of people getting imprisoned, right? And the fine, there are some levels which are there. I think it shouldn't exceed level 7, which is approximately $600, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So those are some of the measures which say they should be deterrent enough so that people don't willingly kill vultures. And as well, we're advocating for the authority to consider this, taking from the situation that recently happened in South Africa, where 123 vultures died, and recently another case where 100 vultures died due to poisoning. These are things, or these are cases that really impact on vultures. So we call upon the authority to really look at with a solid eye, or with that critical eye, to say what can we do to put vultures. Yes, they are specially protected with the law, but I think there's a step that needs to go further, possibly to put them on the same scale as pangolins. Advocating for what? For 9 years. As you know, that vultures, they take 6 years to reach sexual maturity, and they only have one egg. And those are some of the plummeting factors which contribute to what? To the decline. So we advocate for the authority and for people in the higher power to really look into having deterrent measures, such as 9 years to put vultures, criminals to book. So in Mutare, we have one which has been documented, a vulture called the palm nut vulture, which feeds mainly on the palm, and it's found in the Honde region, where it will be coming in from Mozambique, where there are palms, and getting to Zimbabwe. And we have some records, breeding records of vultures in that Honde Valley of the palm nut vulture. So that's what we get. We might get maybe some pockets of white-backed vultures in some of the farms in and around the area, but those might be or are the vultures that we get around this area. Fine. In terms of decline of the palm nut, according to IUCN Red List, the palm nut is least concern, mainly being because it doesn't feed on carcasses, and the main threat to vultures is the issue of what? Of poisoning. So the palm nut, you won't find it feeding on a carcass, mainly because its diet is specialized on what? On palm nuts. So that's why it is what? Least concern in terms of it's okay in terms of their population. Thank you.
My name is Nancy Makuise. I'm an animal lawyer. In today's workshop, we We were dealing with capacitating law enforcement officials on the laws in Zimbabwe regionally and internationally that protect birds and vultures in particular. And we mainly talked about the laws that are there to protect birds and vultures in particular. And one of the key takeaways that we concentrated on was the fact that we need a behavioral change of mindset of people when it comes to dealing with wildlife, and especially birds and vultures. Not many cases are reported because people think they are not important enough, but we need these cases reported. We need people to stop killing the vultures. We need people to stop killing birds. We need people to stop destroying the habitats where these birds and vultures habitat. So this is what we were focusing on, and we said if people had the change in their mindset where they then know how important these birds and vultures are in our environment, in the ecosystem, then we would have less poaching and less killings of such animals. Vultures fall under especially protected animals. So we are also advocating for sentences that are deterrent. And if it is community service that they have to give someone, perhaps they could think of giving the convicted offender community service at a rehabilitation center for animals or for birds, instead of sending them to a police station, a clinic, or a school. But at least if they go to a conservation area and they do their community service there, they are not only getting punished for the offense that they've committed, but they're also being given a chance to have their mind rehabilitated, and they change their mindset when it comes to how they deal or interact with animals, especially birds or vultures.